Good evening from SIAGASCOT TV, the first orthopedics society in the world with its own TV channel. We're getting close to the festival, Massimo, right? Yes, we're all ready, just a few more days to go. We worked very hard. It was difficult to organize something that is going to be completely different compared to a standard congress or a standard webinar. You know that because we have worked at it together. We're almost ready now, and so really there is plenty of tension. Tension is mounting. So we're going to be in Milan. Where exactly? Well, first of all, why is it a festival? Well, it's a festival because it's going to be a scientific event with plenty of interesting discussions with different sites throughout the country. We will be at the Teatro de Martiniti in Milan. Most of the events will be held there, but we will also get connected with the Rizzoli in Bologna, in Rome as well. There will be some sessions held in Rome. So it's going to be something extremely varied, which I'm sure will attract the attention of all those who want to get connected with the SIAGASCOT. So it is based on 3 different lines, right? Yes, there is the festival proper, which will be mostly live, with a round table, discussions, debates, etc. All of them on the stage of the theatre, the Martinit. Then there is the Instructional Festival. This is a second line on Friday and on Saturday. And this is going to be the way to get connected via Zoom. Everything will be online here. And then there is a third area devoted to the companies. Participants will have the opportunity to actually meet the companies that have supported our festival, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank them all. It will indeed be possible to meet representatives from these companies and also to assess and evaluate their products, talk to company managers, so it's going to be very interesting. Yes, of course, we're going to focus our attention on all these lines. There are many national and also international guests. Let's have a look at the agenda together, right? Yes, of course. First of all, as you said before, we have 26 foreign guests who have given their scientific contribution to the event. It's an international festival. ESCA, ISACOS, ICRS have joined forces sponsoring this scientific event. So we start on Friday. On Friday, there's going to be an interview to a great master in the history of Italian orthopedic surgery, arthroscopy, knee surgery, Giancarlo Puddu. He's going to talk about his opinion, his experience, and what are his plans for the future. And then there's going to be a session about OCDs. This will be organized about infant and adolescent pathology. And then there will be another session, a session you know very well because you have organized it, about the shoulder, right? Yes, we're going to deal with posterior instability, which is not very frequent but very difficult to treat. The colleagues who have organized this session had a very good idea. There will be plenty of case discussions in this session. Perfect. After that, of course, we want to give awards. We want to reward those who are working in this field and attract many people in SIAGASCOT, people who work at the local level seriously and with great skills. The Fabulous 6 Award. Fabulous 6 Award is the award to the best clinical case submitted by the regions. So by orthopedic surgeons, colleagues who work at the local level. More than 30 clinical cases have been submitted, and the best 6 of these cases have been selected. They will be presented on stage, and after that there will be an online vote. The best one will be awarded the best clinical case of the festival. So it will be very interesting in terms of image. It will be a showcase for these cases. And then We will have José Chino, one of the most important surgeons in ligament surgery, reconstruction of the anterior cruciate ligament, with a lecture, an invited lecture. So this will be the beginning of the international part of the festival, which will also continue about the ligaments with 2 sessions. One on the anterior cruciate ligament, in which we're going to listen to the most important Italian opinion leaders, and an interview with Ramon Cugat about the reconstruction of the anterior cruciate ligament in football players. And this will be followed by a second part, which is going to be extremely interesting. It will be focused on the posterior cruciate ligament and on peripheral lesions of the knee. Here as well, the most important personality in Italy, with the relief surgery, tips and tricks about the reconstruction of the posterior cruciate ligament and peripheral reconstruction. We will have Professors Madonna and Seretti, who will be showing their techniques. It's going to be extremely interesting. Then we continue live from Bologna. The leaders of cartilage, so to speak. We have a joint venture, a partnership with ICRS, 2 very important opinion leaders from ICRS, Latterman and Niemeyer, with 2 invited lectures. And then there's going to be a wonderful roundtable about what should we use to infiltrate a knee today. So this is going to be a very interesting session indeed, which will be followed by a session about sports medicine, about tendinopathies. Here as well, we will have Van Dyck and Carlson, eminent personalities, and then many more foreign guests, a session based on the joint venture with ESCA, ECSA, with foreigners, Hunt, Piedad, Italian opinion leaders as well, who will be talking about this subject. And then Friday comes to an end with a wonderful session about hip arthroscopy. Do you want to tell us something about it? Yes, we've recorded everything. Everything was done by Santori and Constantini. There will be eminent personalities. I don't want to give you not even a sneak preview. It's going to be extremely interesting. Interesting not just in terms of joints, but also tendons. So very important also for sports medicine. Absolutely, this is something we want to deal with more and more. We want to address the world of sports medicine. There is also a committee and a group of people who have been working on sports medicine at a very high level. On Friday, there are also what we call the instructional courses. We want to organize instructional courses online, live, and there are 5 such courses. One will be managed by our youth committee. The basis of arthroscopy of the knee, of the shoulder, is going to be extremely interesting. 2 will be about the shoulder, and here I'd like to give you the floor because I don't understand anything about the shoulder. Well, these instructional courses will be extremely interesting because these are training courses. The target are young orthopedic surgeons, and we have focused on 2 pathologies, the reconstruction of the rotator cuff and anterior instability treated via arthroscopy. So it's going to be very interesting to see the preparation of the field for the treatment. 2 more instructional courses, one about the anterior cruciate ligament, Enrico Arnaldi, the other one on prosthetic surgery. The moderator will be Pietro Randelli. So the young orthopedic surgeons can directly follow these instructional courses while the festival will go live on the main channel. Let's move on to Saturday. Saturday, a wonderful day indeed. We start with prosthesis, quite a difficult topic. Elbow and wrist prosthesis, organized by Arrigoni and Lucchetti. Yes, 2 round tables will be organized in this framework, so there will be a presentation, a short presentation to begin with, then the 2 round tables with the most important, most eminent surgeons in this field. And we want to focus on this surgery because it's a very important surgery, and SIAGASCOT is getting more and more involved with this. And then we go back to the shoulder, which is one of the most important points, right? Well, the treatment of failures in antero-inferior instability. Surgeons have to deal with this as well, and this time, given the complexity and the heterogeneity of the courses, we have decided to discuss this on the basis of clinical cases, which will be discussed with specific attention. And then we move to the tibio-tarsal joint, another very interesting joint. Most of the leaders of our committee will be involved. Cartilage pathology of the tibio-tarsal joint, invited lecture with Professor Kennedy, followed by a round table. And then, again, with the knee, we will start dealing with the prosthesis. So there's going to be a specific session devoted to two-level osteotomies. This is a wonderful session with an interview with a very important foreign opinion leader, Dr. Olivier, followed by an interview, a polemical interview with two experts of osteotomy. A wonderful round table in which we're going to talk about the planning of two-level osteotomy, which is not easy at all, to conclude with relief surgery. So this summarizes what the festival is all about. Roundtables, relief surgery, interviews. Very important indeed. Particular attention to young people. Again, there will be the Best Presentation Award. What is it about? The Best Presentation Award will be devoted to three masters. Professor Mario Randelli, who unfortunately passed away recently, the knee, Professor Paolo Aietti, and for arthroscopy, Dr. Renato Viola. Three masters, and we have dedicated these awards to them. For these awards, we have selected the abstracts published by many young surgeons, and the best three in this field will receive an award. So they will have the honor to be presenting their work, and they will receive an award respectively by Dr. Giron, who studied with Paolo Aietti as far as the knee is concerned, Pietro Randelli, Professor Pietro Randelli, who, of course, is still continuing to work, making the history of shoulder surgery, and then Enrico Arnaldi, as far as arthroscopy is concerned. So it's going to be another wonderful showcase for our youth taking part in the festival. And then we move on to the round table about infiltration therapy. And then we will kick off the afternoon with the new frontiers of knee prosthesis. It will be introduced by an invited lecturer, Professor Marcacci. We're going to deal with robotics. We're going to deal with the customized knee prosthesis. And we will also deal with prosthesis in the elderly with an interview with Bruno Violante. This will be followed by an invited lecturer, Sergio Romagnoli. After 40 years of mono prosthesis, is going to talk about his position, his stance in the use of these prostheses. So it's going to be a wonderful invited lecture, and then we'll go back to the shoulder. The shoulder committee is very active, and they have decided to focus on one of the most complex gestures in shoulder prosthesis, that is the reconstruction of the glenoid. So it's going to be extremely interesting, all made up by Italian specialists. The major Italian specialists will be focusing on the way in which this pathology is dealt with and treated in Italy. Perfect. Then two more topics. One is the patellofemoral joint, with the participation of experts from the International Study Group with two invited lecturers, the IPSG, and then a roundtable on the clinical cases in the treatment of the chondral lesion of the patellofemoral joint. And then there will be a rehabilitation forum. We really want to talk to physical therapists, rehabilitation therapists in sports medicine. So these two forums will be one about the treatment of anterior knee pain, which is one of the most difficult things to treat, and the second one, the management of the fast track after prosthetic surgery. So it's going to be extremely interesting with the best ones from our rehabilitation committee. Yes, the relationship with the physical therapist is essential. And then there will be also another festival on Saturday with different topics which are going to be dealt with, from basic science to a session which is a wonderful session about the advanced treatment in meniscal lesions. We have Simonetta Arcangelo Russo, who will be showing us a playlist how to suture meniscus. Michael Stewart is going to talk about root lesions and the centralization of the meniscus. And then Pierpaolo Mariani is going to talk about something new, the result of the analysis of his surgery, and Roman Seil is going to talk about ramp lesions. And then we'll conclude with the most advanced treatments, scaffolds and transplants of the meniscus and synthetic replacements. Vincenzo Condello will be talking about that. And then there is something, I'm somewhat jealous of Pietro, who will have the task to interview Iji Itoi. With Iji and with Pietro, we're going to talk about shoulder instability. It's going to be wonderful. Then the nursing session, because we have this field as well, which is becoming more and more important. More and more nurses are getting involved in our activity, so this session is going to be very interesting indeed. And then it will be my turn. To introduce 15 minutes with David Dejour, a friend and a surgeon, interviewed by fellow Stefano Pasqualotto on the revisions in the reconstruction of the anterior cruciate ligament. Then Umile Longo, again about the knee. He will interview Parvizi on the management of infected knees. And then another very interesting point, two masters. There will be a challenge, challenging each other. Giuliano Cerulli and Alberto Branca on a duel about the use of synthetic ligaments in knee surgery. So it's going to be extremely interesting. This will be followed by a series of 15 minutes with. And then focus on allergy in prosthesis, a very interesting topic indeed. And then there will be a section devoted to mini implants with surgery, in which Verne Mazzola will teach us how to do a B-mono or a patellofemoral intervention. So it's going to be extremely interesting, as well as the discussion and the round table, which will follow about the compatibility between mini implants and sports activity. So this part of the festival will come to its end with a session devoted to the prevention and management of infections in prosthetic surgery of hip and knee. So basically, we're going to talk about everything. But there is also another channel, a third channel, right? Yes, a channel devoted to companies. If you want, you can enter this dedicated channel in order to get in contact with the various companies, workshops, interviews, and specific opportunities in which it's going to be possible to talk live with these companies. So we look forward to meeting you on the 19th and 20th March 2021. Get connected, get connected, get connected. SIAGASCOT has made an enormous effort in terms of organization. It's not just like organizing any congress. It has been more difficult, but I'm sure you're going to find something of interest for you specifically. Of course, SIAGASCOT members can have access free of charge. So if you become a SIAGASCOT member, or if you confirm your membership, you can have access free of charge. And then there is the advantage that all this material will be recorded and it will be on a platform for a few days. So you might have missed a session. You will have the opportunity to see this session later on. And then the sponsors. Yes, I'd like to say two things. First of all, I'd like to thank all the SIAGASCOT members. Over the past few months, you have really been exceptional. You have been very close to us. You have passed on to us plenty of energy, which we badly needed. And then, of course, I'd like to thank all the sponsors. Thank you very much. Thank you. See you on the 19th.